everyone, thank you for joining me, Ariella Anderson, for another Yoga Basics video. I really appreciate you being here today. So we've got a little bit of a hip video for you, and I hope if you have been feeling a little bit of tension in your hips, this helps you relieve some of that tension and tightness. So, as with any class, take what you need, leave what you don't. If anything feels absolutely awful in your body, just don't do it. I would recommend having blocks for this class. If you don't have blocks, there are other things that you can use. You can use pillows, you can use baskets, you can use books, kind of anything that would help kind of bring the floor up a little bit higher or lengthen the length of your hands would be fantastic. And as with any class, I will not be leading you out of Shavasana, so I will get you into Shavasana and then say my goodbyes, and you can hang out there for as long as you like. So we're going to get started in an easy seated position. I'm sitting here on a blanket, cross-legged, but you can come into whatever posture feels comfortable in your body. So if you'd like, I invite you to close your eyes or just keep your gaze soft. Start to breathe in through your nose, out through your nose. Start to even out your breathing. So if you're taking 3 or 4 second inhales, take 3 or 4 second exhales. As you breathe in through your nose, take a pause, and then sigh out your mouth. In through your nose, pause, exhale, sigh out. Just do that a few more times. And every time you breathe in love and compassion, yourself and others, breathe in patience. And every time you sigh out your exhale, sigh out something that no longer serves you, some kind of negative emotion or memory, just sigh it out. It won't be gone completely. You can't just sigh out our negative emotions, but sometimes the act of visualizing that we're doing it at least helps us move forward slowly. If it's part of your practice to set an intention, it's a thought or an idea to focus on or work towards, I invite you to do so. When you're ready, you can start to open up your eyes if they're closed. We're going to start by taking some nice side bends. So inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, bring your right hand down, left arm comes up and over. Keeping both our hip and sit bones down on the mat or the ground or wherever you're doing this first part of your practice. And release. Coming back up to center, inhale. Exhale. Left hand comes down, right hand comes over. Reaching up through the armpit to lengthen the arm and stretch the side body. And release. Now we're going to inhale our arms up and just open them up like goalposts or a cactus. Look up for a nice, gentle back bend. Lengthen through the spine, and then release. Now we're going to come onto our hands and knees, coming into table. I'm using a blanket underneath my knees. If you feel like you need a little extra padding, you can do that as well. If you feel like you need a little extra padding underneath your wrists, you can do that too. You can come up onto your fists if that feels better. You can also come down onto your forearms. If you feel like you need a little bit more space, you can always open up your hands a little bit as well. We're gonna take a few rounds of cat and cow. So on your inhale, lower your belly, tailbone to the sky. Exhale, round your spine, tucking your tailbone. Inhale, broaden through your chest, lifting your head. Exhale, round, and just take cat-cow, follow your own pace. If there are any other movements that you need to do in your body that would feel really good and intuitive, you can do that. So maybe do some hip side to side, maybe do some hip circles. So just see how you feel. When you're ready, come back to center. Extend your right foot out, tucking your back toes, pressing through your heel for a stretch in the back of your leg. And lift up that heel and swing it to the outside of your right hand, coming into lizard. So this is where you might want blocks, especially in the beginning of this class. And if you want to open up the hip a little bit more, tuck the back toes, lift up the knee. Now if you want to stay here, you can. Otherwise, bring your knee down. So now you've kind of opened up the hip a little bit more. For this posture, we're keeping the knee above the ankle and not going too far forward. You can come down as far as you'd like. I'm going to stay up a little bit high this morning. And then coming back to straighten the knee. And bring your blocks with you if you need. This is a little bit more open variation of half splits. So inhale, keep the spine long and back flat. Tip forward at the hips, and that's where you may feel that stretch in your hamstring. Take your blocks wherever they feel comfortable. From here, you can come back into your lizard, if that feels right. You can also move back and forth from either posture. If you feel like your hips need to flow back and forth, I invite you to do that. Or you can just hang out in one spot or the other. Now when you're ready, come back into your lizard. You're going to plant your left hands. Plant your right hands. Lift your left arm up, coming up for a twist. I've got my hand on a block here. If you want, you can take a half bind here if that feels comfortable. These can be up to the ceiling if you'd like. And release back down. Plunging your hands, start to make your leg back into tabletop. You can do some hip circles here, you can sway side to side. And just notice how your body feels, notice how your hips feel. Notice how your right one might feel different than your left one. And extend your left foot out, tucking your back toe, pressing through the heel. Into the other side. And when you're ready, lift up that back foot and swing it to the outside of your left hand for lizard on this side. Tuck the back toes, draw the knee back, untuck the toes, and find your lizard. So you might find that one side feels a little bit better than the other. And straighten the left knee, take your blocks with you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. You can take your blocks and place them wherever they feel comfortable. I like having them a little bit out in front instead of right here. And if you'd like, you can hang out and have splits, or you can move between half splits and lizard, just flowing between the two. See what your hips need. When you're ready, come back into your lizard and we'll take our twist on this side. So bring your hands, your right hand, to the block or to the floor. He likes it better if my hand is on the floor. And then open up your left side. You take the half bind here. And release. Bring your hands back to your blocks or your mat. Start to walk your foot back. Again, you can do some hip circles, you can do some side to sides. Get my blocks out of the way. Coming back into tabletop, walk your hands out to the top of the mat. Hips are staying over your knees, coming into puppy. The head comes in between the elbows. You can bring your head to a block. Slowly come back up, walking the hands back in. And we're going to come into malasana or a wide squat. So if you need to bring something underneath your heels, you can grab a blanket, or if you want to sit on something, you can do that too. But we're going to start by tucking our toes and bringing our feet wide, maybe to the edges of our mat, sitting back on our heels and walking our hands back until we tip into a squat. Now, how low you come in this squat is going to just depend on the flexibility in your hips, or in my case, your hip anatomy. So you can bring the edge of a blanket underneath your heels. If your heels are up like this, you can also sit on blocks, so you can sit on pillows. You can do this supported. On my Instagram, I know that I have several pictures on how to do this posture supported. So from here, while we're here, fold up the blanket, move it to the side. While we're here, we're going to bring our hands back down to the mat. And no, we're not coming into crow. It's way too early for that. We lift the hips up, coming into a forward fold. Let the head hang heavy. Your feet might be a little bit wider, and that's okay. Bend your knees as much as you need. Remember that you're lifting up from the hips, which may bring more of a stretch in the hamstrings. So to compensate, bend your knees. When you're ready, slowly start to roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Head coming up last. Roll out your shoulders, hips back and forth. Come to the top of your mat. We're going to do a couple of sun salutations without the chaturangas today. So come to the top of your mat. Your feet are a comfortable distance apart where you have equal weight distribution. Then inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Your hands can stay here. They can come to your shins or your blocks for support. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, release. Plant your hands. Step your feet back to plank, either on your toes or on your knees. I'm going to do this first one on my knees. And hold your plank. And take a big inhale. On your exhale, tuck your toes and come up into downward facing dog. It's our first down dog of class, so feel free to pedal out your feet. Lift up the hips. You may have noticed that we kind of worked our way into this posture by doing our forward fold and our half splits. Our forward fold allows us to, our forward fold and our half splits stretch out the hamstrings, which may make this feel a little bit more accessible. Inhale, look between your hands, and on your exhale, you can either walk your feet to your hands or your hands to your feet, coming into a forward fold at the front or back of your mat, your choice. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up, hands touching at the top. And on your exhale, if you're at the back of your mat, step forward as you bring your hands to heart center. So everybody should be at the front of their mat now. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, plank. I'm going to do this one up on my toes now. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, forward fold to the front or back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up. And on your exhale, bring your hands to heart center and walk to the top of your mat if you're not already there. We'll do this one more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale into a forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, heart center. Pause here, take a breath. And to work on our balance. We're going to slowly bring the weight into our left foot, raising our right, trying to flex your foot. And then we're going to step back into warrior two. So when you're ready, slowly step your foot back. If you want to add a little bit more of a balance, you can move into warrior three before coming into warrior two. So for warrior two, your front knee is bent, your toes are pointed forward. Your back foot, the pinky toe edge of your back foot is parallel with the back of your mat. Arms can be out. Hips are open to the side. Inhale, reverse warrior. And release. warrior two. From here, turn both of your feet to the side of your mat. So now they're about 45-ish degrees in a wide-legged stance. We're gonna inhale, our arms up nice and tall. Exhale, down into goddess. If you feel like you need to adjust your feet a little bit, absolutely do that. I always need to adjust my feet. So your hands are at center, bring them down to your thighs. And then on your inhale, bring your right arm up, and on your exhale, bend, side bend over to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Straighten the knees. Beautiful. Turn your feet coming back into our warrior two. So toes pointed back to the front of your mat. Arms back up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down so they come to either side of your front foot, coming into runner's lunge. And if you'd like, you can come back into that lizard. Use your blocks here if you have them handy. And into runner's lunge. Sweep that left foot back, and you're coming into plank either on your toes or on your knees. Back into downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. And exhale, come to a forward fold, either at the front or back of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. And rise up, nice and slow. Exhale to the front of your mat or heart center, depending on where you are. And now we're going to do the other side. I'm going to move my blocks so that I'm facing the camera. Or the iPad, I'm not really using the camera. So now again, work on our balance. This time we're going to shift the weight into our right foot. Left leg comes up. Your hands can be at heart center. If you want to challenge yourself, you can bring your arms up straight. And when you're ready, tip forward, coming into warrior two. So the more controlled you make that transition, the more you're working on your balance. And you can always, always, always use a chair or a wall. I seem to be having a lucky morning in that I have not fallen over yet. So warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, send it back, reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. Turn your feet. So in your wide-legged stance, feet about 45 degrees. Inhale, arms come up, exhale, back into goddess. Adjust your feet if you need to. Now you have the option, you can either stay here in goddess, or you can take your side bends here. Holding for a couple of breaths. Whatever works for you today. And release, coming back into a standing position. We're gonna twist our feet so that they're back in warrior two. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring those hands down. You can come to your blocks on either side of your feet. Sweep that foot back, coming into plank, either on your toes or on your knees. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, and release. Rise up. Hands coming to heart center. Awesome. And so from here, we're gonna start making our way down to our mat. So if you're not at the top of your mat, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms come up nice and tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Come down onto your knees. And then sweep feet out in front of you. Sweep your feet out in front of you, coming to a seated position. Seated position with your legs out in front. Find your sit bones. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold forward, reaching for whatever you can. Bending your knees as much as you need. And release, nice and slow. And then from here, we're going to come down onto our back. Inhale, arms coming out nice and long. Rolling down, nice and slow. Remembering to breathe. Slower you move, the more work your abs are doing. And when your shoulders touch the ground, your knees into your chest. Do some side to sides. Open your arms like a T. And bring your knees down to the right. Hooking onto your right hip. Center, and bring your knees down to the left, coming out to your left hip. And back up to center. Take any final postures that you need to finish out your practice. You can take happy baby, or legs up the wall, shoulder stands, whatever your body needs. And when you're ready, you can come into your final resting pose. You can come onto your back. You can move onto your chair, or you can do it in a seated position as well. Wherever you feel like you get the most comfort and you can be in stillness. And start to come to your breath. Focus back in on your breathing. In through your nose, out through your nose. Remember to let something go every time you exhale, even if it's just tension. Wherever you are, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. Feel it beat. And feel your chest rise and fall with your breath. Show yourself gratitude today for your practice, and to your body, for everything that exists for you. I bow my head in gratitude to you for letting me be a part of your journey. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much. Till next time.